All right, and I am streaming live now. Actually, I'm not live, I'm recording, but it's coming out as a podcast in a little while. Let me shoot on over to Podbean. This is going to be MURFS Quick Hits. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I just want to pop on real quick for this quick little segment I wanted to do called MURFS Quick Hits. I really don't get too much time to go on and speak my opinion about both of these teams, being that I'm back to work and all, and schedules changed a little bit, and you know what I'm saying. But when I get a thought and I want to go with it, I'm going to come on here and I'm going to do Murph's Quick Hits. I alerted Eric to the fact that I was going to go on live, but this is going to be real quick. Like I said, quick hits. But I went on a rant the other night on the Murph and E Dub show on episode 41 about my Mets, and the rant that I went on was literally talking about how I think that my team has given up. Now, the fact that I think that my team has given up is kind of like hitting me a different way as of yesterday because I'm listening to all these Met fans out there. Met fans, like myself, I love you, but you drive me crazy, just like I probably drive you crazy with the way I think about our team. But the fact of the matter is, they beat the Braves last night. As a matter of fact, they pummeled the Braves last night. And I'm not saying that these Mets are a World Series team. I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs. But the fact of the matter is, I haven't watched a baseball game in about 10 days. And I'm listening and I'm watching, and I watched last night's game. And I don't know what's going on. Nimmo's hit more home runs than he's hit in his life. McNeil's finally coming around and hitting the ball. Lindor, I told everybody from the beginning of the season, Lindor is going to be a 250 hitter, and he's going to continue to be the guy that he's supposed to be for this baseball team. Now, he's batting 251 now. The other night, he went 3 for 3. The guy's playing really well. Now, why is this team playing so well towards the end of the season? Because they're doing it to us as Met fans. Now, Met fans, you understand the fact that we hang by our team. Now, the fact of the matter is they're slowly letting us back in by saying, hey, wait a second. If we take 2 out of 3 from the Braves, we're still relevant. We might make the playoffs. We might become a wild card. Oh, my God. Yesterday, all day long, you know what? I fell for it like hook, line, and sinker. And I think I'm falling for it, too, because I'm going to be watching the game tonight. Listen, if the Mets beat the Braves tonight, and that's 2 in a row, and they beat the best team in baseball, now look at that Atlanta Braves baseball team. If you're going to tell me that's not a World Series ready baseball team to win another one, 1 through 9, pitching, everything is working for the Braves. But you know what? The Mets beat them last night. So the Mets beat them. They scored a lot of runs, and that's fine. I don't know what happened in the locker room. Maybe something happened. Pete Alonso says, hey, listen, we're friends. Everybody likes each other in the locker room. I don't know. Is Buck going to go? I don't know what's going to go on with this team going forward, but I hope it's going to be positive because we just got rid of 2 pitchers who, at the end of the day, in retrospect, everybody's like, why are we doing this? Verlander's going to a team right now, back to his old team where he's 15 to 16 games over 500 with a lot of cushion, could win a World Series. Our boy Scherzer is going over there to Texas. There's a good possibility that he could win a World Series too. I don't know, but DeGrom will be on the bench, and maybe he'll win a World Series on the bench. And that would be even better, Met fans. I know I'm going off on a little bit of a left turn here, but if Texas wins the World Series this year and Jacob DeGrom had nothing to do with it, I think that would be just desserts for us as Met fans. But anyway, back to this team as we look at it present day. I don't know if they're going to make a run at the wild card. I don't know if they're going to make a run at the playoffs. But fact of the matter is, I'm back in for a little while and I'm watching baseball again. I don't know. Baseball just seems to be when I come home from work, being like I said before, I'm back to work. I sit down, I watch my Mets. And it's just the world is right. My son's here. My wife even watches it. Jack this year made a conscious effort that he's going to be a Mets fan and a baseball fan this year. So everything's all good in the baseball world in at the Murphy house. But our team. So they got a lot of young talent going forward. Like I said to you when I went on my rant a couple of days ago, we have the future best catcher in baseball and possibly catcher MVP candidate, and we're going to be saying Mike Piazza who in about 6 or 7 years. Okay, Pete Alonso. The other night, I really had to think this through, buddy. When you threw that ball into the stands, that was that kid's first hit. Now, guys, we all know Pete Alonso. He's a goofy guy. I really don't think that he did that maliciously. I really just thought there's like, hey, it's a baseball. I'm just going to throw it into the stands. So anybody out there that thinks Pete's a malicious guy and he's doing something to be a douche, just think twice about the guy. Look at him. He's that guy in the locker room that everybody's like, wow, Pete's that big doofy guy that makes everybody laugh. Pete threw the ball into the stands. He got some shit for it because they thought it was done on purpose. You know what, kid? You're going to get 1,000 more hits. Maybe, if you're lucky, or you're going to get maybe 500 hits. Doesn't know. I don't know where your career is going to go. But it was your first hit. You got your first hit. Pete, I don't think he did it on purpose. Now, to my Yankees point. My Yankees point is going to be quick because I wish I had all the information in front of me so I could discuss, but this is going to be a topic of discussion for the Murph and E-Dub show because E-Dubs will be able to rattle this off to me. Sal Licata from WFAN. Not Sal Licata. The guy that does the show with Tiki and Evan. Lugauer. Tommy Lugauer from WFAN. Evan is off, so he's filling in for Evan right now. Made a very, very good point. And actually, I don't like Tiki Barber. I like him. He's a nice guy. I'm not saying that, but I think he's like a front runner for like he sticks up to the athletes too much. Not that he shouldn't because he's an athlete himself, but I don't know. He's got to grow on me a little bit more as a WFAN sports radio. But Lugauer brought up a great point. Maybe we have to get back to the fact that Aaron Boone for this baseball team just doesn't have the tools to succeed. Now, when I say tools to succeed, if you look at this team on paper, they have good young talent, right? They have all these guys coming up the pipes. Everybody, they got these shortstops. They got an abundance of shortstops. They got people fighting for positions. We got the Hudson Valley Renegades up here. Now, the Hudson Valley Renegades are the Yankees farm system, and we have some very, very exciting players. I haven't got to see a game this year, but I know a bunch of people that have, and they have a very exciting team up there. That being said, this team back in 1995 was going into a season where they were switching managers. Okay. Now, back then, there wasn't much analytics going around. There wasn't much of that stuff. There was just coaching. Okay. Straight up coaching. Now, I wish I was that big of I'm a baseball fan. I could tell you about the Mets, but I don't know who the Yankees coaching staff was back in 1995 and 96. But there was obviously a transition year. Derek Jeter's a rookie. They got all these guys. They got Brocious. They got whatever. This whole team of, I'm not going to say nobodies, but they're good players, mediocre, good baseball players. They're baseball players, they're MLB ball players. Now, this team goes on to a dynasty of a decade in the 90s. Joe Torre's their coach. Now, maybe the fact that Joe Torre was able to disperse his coaching abilities to his coaching staff maybe maybe a hitting coach is a little more important than we think maybe this day and age because I think maybe we're seeing the separation maybe getting further and further away from the coaches and the players, meaning the fact that maybe these players don't think that they need coaches anymore. Well, maybe we should turn around and revert back to the hitting coach getting you back in your mindset, the pitching coach lining you guys up and saying, yeah, you know what, you guys can do it. Let's go. Let's work on your different pitches. Let's pick those catches. Let's hire another bullpen catcher. Let's do more bullpens. Let's work on those arms. Now, let's get a little more camaraderie. Now, last year with the Mets, Max Scherzer tried to create that camaraderie with Bassett, and those guys and getting the team together and DeGrom. We obviously saw where that went. It got, kind of got blown up a little bit. But that being said, I think maybe there is something going on there, maybe with because this Yankee team is good on paper. And listen, for all you Yankee fans that are pissed off about how the Yankees are playing, I get it. They're not the New York Yankees you guys are used to. And maybe I'm going to say this because I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm a Met fan, and I'm used to mediocrity. But the 3 or 4 games under 500. I mean, they're playing baseball. They're not playing Yankee baseball, but they're playing 8 in a row they lost. Yes, they're not the Yankees like they should be, but they're still a little bit under 500, and they're playing mediocre baseball, and Yankee fans aren't used to it. And you know what, though? I've grown to get it. I understand Yankee fans. But you Yankee you Yankees might be going on a tear right now where you might have some losing seasons, or you may have to try and figure it out. Or you may have to get rid of a manager. Maybe Boone has to go. Maybe they has to bring in some new people. I don't know what the Yankees are going to do at this point. But the fact of the matter is, they're 3 or 4 games under 500, and I understand it. But maybe coaching does have something to do with it. Maybe when he brought up that point today on the fan with Tiki today, saying that he doesn't have the tools. I don't think he was talking about the tools, meaning Aaron Boone doesn't have the tools as players. Aaron Boone doesn't have the tools coaching to disperse the hitting coach, the pitching coach, maybe the good bench coach. Maybe a bench coach is a lot more important than we think. I don't know. But I think that something is going to have to change. And I think it's going to have to change in both clubhouses. Now, this whole season with Buck, I've been a Buck supporter, but unfortunately, I think Buck is going to be a little bit of a scapegoat at the end of the year because it shows that Steve Cohen is not afraid to just get rid of guys and start from scratch. Now, that is one thing you got to say about the Mets. That was my Yankees point, guys. And I think that maybe we got to look at a little bit more with the coaching situation. And maybe there's got to be a little more of an intimate relationship with the coaches and the players. Maybe there is, and we're just not seeing it. But maybe on the next Murph and E Dub show, maybe Eric could go into more detail about maybe what the Yankees' coaching situation is. But back to the Mets for just 1 second. Look, The one thing that Steve Cohen did do that I got to give him credit for is everybody's mad that he sold the farm or he sold the baggers, like I always say that my son Aiden says all the time. But he took a shot, I guess. He's got the money to do it. He's got all this abundance of young players right now. Now, if you surround these young players, Alvarez included, and we're going to probably keep Beatty around. I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to keep Alvarez around. We still got Pete. Lindor's not going anywhere. And let's be honest, guys. We got to call on somebody to be this captain of this baseball team. And I'm not saying it's going to be somebody like Pete Alonso, who's that big, boisterous, guy. The captain of the baseball team doesn't always have to be the best player on the field. Now, I'm going to say that for a second time because the captain of your baseball team does not always have to be the best player on the field. He has to be the best teammate on the field. Now, that doesn't always mean being the best player. It means maybe making the best plays at the right times, but always being able to do and say the right things. Derek Jeter was a consummate professional at that captain role, and there were times where he was the best player on the team. But for his career, he wasn't the best player on the team. So that being said, somebody has to become that kind of boisterous leader in that Mets locker room and a guy. And I think Francisco Lindor has to be that guy. And Met fans might attack me on this, but I really do think that Lindor is going to be that guy or has to be that guy. And Cohen is going to have to put people in the right situations if we're going to make a coaching change. Now, do I think we should go with brand new coach, team? I don't know if that's the right approach. And I don't know what is the right approach anymore because sometimes some approaches work for different teams differently. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Mets going forward, but I'm here to tell the Met fans that I'm going to be watching over the next couple of weeks because who knows, maybe they're going to make it a little bit exciting. I'm not saying they're going to do anything, but you know what, Met fans, let's keep watching. Let's continue to support our baseball team, and it happens every year. And like every good Met fan says, listen, the Jets football season's coming up. The Jets look pretty good. So, as every Jet fan says at the end of Jet season, I can't wait till baseball season. As every Met fan says at the closing of the baseball season, I can't wait till football season. And that being said, this is Murph signing out for Quick Hits, and I hope you guys are going to tune in. Keep talking 365, the Murph and E Dub Show, and shooting the breeze. Take care, guys. All right. Let me stop the old video feed here, and I hope you guys got that. That was Quick Hits by Murph from the Murph and E Dub Show, and we're going to see more of each other. Take care.